up, guys? So, lots been going on this week with the California fires. I'm actually in Sonoma County where a lot of them have been going on, pretty close to me actually, but I'm doing okay right now, so I thought it'd be good to go back to doing some videos. So, I'm looking forward to talking to you about The Babysitter. So, I'll tell you right now, this film blew all my expectations out of the way. Watched the trailer, wasn't that impressed, thought it looked kind of stupid actually, and really revealed way too much. But I thought might be kind of fun. New horror comedy out there, so I decided to give it a shot. It's directed by a guy named Mick G. Yeah, I guess he directed some of the Charlie's Angels films and stuff like that. I'm not really familiar with his work, but I'll tell you, I'm actually going to be probably looking out to see if he does more horror comedies in the future, because this was pretty fun. It's about a 12-year-old boy named Cole, played by Judah Lewis, who has an older babysitter named B, who's played by Samara Weaving. The film starts off where you learn a little bit about Cole. I guess he's kind of considered a little bit weird. He gets picked on, bullied, really afraid of needles. I don't think that's that weird. I think a lot of people are afraid of needles. But, he's got a little bit of he's a little bit older, and he has a babysitter, so he's kind of got that going on. A little insecure about that, I would say. I can kind of relate. I had a babysitter up until I was about his age too, and I always thought people were judging me for that or thinking that was weird. But as I got older, I realized no one really cares. It doesn't really matter. But what I really like how this film opens up is they give us a good amount of time to really get introduced to his character, introduced to a lot of these side people, whether the bullies, his babysitter, his parents, his close friend at school. There's a lot of really cool things that they set up in this film that I really enjoyed. And with it being only about an hour and 25 minutes, oh man, the pacing is really nice, crisp. After just watching Blade Runner 2049, which was 2 hours and 45 minutes, basically double this, I was ready for something more condensed, and oh boy, I can't compare the two. It's just completely different levels there. Now, what's surprising about this film is it has a lot of heart. It has that sort of coming of age feel. I really enjoyed that. I didn't see that coming at all. I expected a horror comedy. That's what I saw in the trailers, and it is a horror comedy. It's definitely much more of a comedy. You're not going to get really scared. There are some moments, there's a few like jump scare moments here and there, but it's really all about that storyline here that we're set up with these characters, and it is really character driven, which I enjoyed. I felt like all the actors in this film did a great job. I was really surprised. Judah Lewis played Cole really well, that 12-year-old. A lot of the film is left on him and given from his perspective, which I enjoyed. But I was really impressed by Samara Weaving, who pretty much the entire movie I was like, where have I seen her from? She's so familiar, and I had no idea. It took me a long time. It wasn't until the end when I looked it up later I realized she was actually in Ash vs. Evil Dead, one of my favorite new shows based off my favorite horror franchise, the Evil Dead franchise. She played a character named Heather in the first season. So that's pretty exciting. I'm happy for her to land a role like this, because she just shined in this film. And one thing I really enjoyed about her character is you can never really read her. You never really know what her intentions are, or the honesty versus the truth or the lies. Whatever she's saying, it's like I could never quite know what her goal was. Even at the end, when you know every little thing that you need to know, you still wonder what her true intentions were, which is really cool. Cole, he gets curious. He's a 12-year-old boy. He's had this babysitter for a while. Wants to know what she does when he goes to sleep. So of course he stays up and he has an idea. He sees her and all these friends playing spin the bottle in his living room, and that's when things take a turn for the unpredictable, the worse. If you've seen the trailers, which I would say completely avoid, because they revealed way too much, for one thing. It was one of those cases where I could watch something happening on screen and be like, oh, yep, I know exactly what's going to happen here because I saw this, and boom, there it goes, and it happened, yep. So I would say avoid that if possible. I will show a little bit here and there, but I'm not going to show you some of the real spoilery stuff that you'll see in the trailers. So that's all I'm really going to say about the story here. Just know it becomes sort of a survival story for Cole. One thing I also really like was the supporting cast. As I said, the actors did a great job in this film, and I feel the need to at least shout out to a couple of them here that did really well with what they were given. There were characters like Robbie Amell's Max, who is this football player that is just kind of throughout the whole movie has a shirt off. No one really, it's never really revealed why. Then there's Hannah Mae Lee as Sonia, who is really creepy, but also in a kind of giddy, fun way. Bella Thorne as Allison, who's sort of the dim cheerleader kind of trope character, but she is also pretty fun, has a lot of good lines. King Bach plays John, and he was very surprising. I enjoyed all of his bits. He had a lot of fun, kind of repetitive moments, inside jokes, I guess you would say. But even Cole's friend Melanie, played by Emily Allen Lind, was really good too, and they had a lot of fun little moments between them. I also really enjoyed Leslie Bibb, Cole's mom, as well as Ken Marino, his dad. They had a lot of really fun little lines there too, which I thought really added to the overall spectrum. It doesn't feel like a single character, except for maybe one that I'll say is not that developed or not that important. This film has tons of surprises, and if you've avoided the trailers, there's going to be a lot of moments here where you're just going to be completely thrown back saying WTF the whole time. And I was really excited to see how they handle all these different situations and moments where you would never expect it to happen. Obviously, some of these things would never happen. They show you in a way where it's obviously meant to be lighthearted and fun. Don't take this movie too seriously. It's a horror comedy, guys. So go into it knowing what you're getting into. Get a group of friends together, have a good time. Even by yourself. I watched this by myself and I had a fun time. I actually laughed out loud a few times, and I rarely do that when I'm watching a comedy by myself. One thing that was really cool and I definitely wasn't expecting was some of the editing style. They use a lot of these really interesting sound bites and effects that intertwine the music to certain scenes that I thought was really clever and well done. There's moments where they're really trying to get you to feel what Cole is feeling, and when he's kind of really panicking, they sort of do this hyper breathing of him gasping and just kind of trying to gather his breath here. And I've never seen anything like that. I really enjoyed how they stylized it throughout the film. One thing I don't want to forget to say is definitely after you finish watching the film, stay for the mid-credits scene that comes after the initial credits, because there is something you're going to want to see that shows up there. Overall, I had a blast with this film, guys. I don't want to give away too much about it. I know it's called The Babysitter, and there are other films out there with that name, and try not to be confused with that or those films. Go into this one with fresh expectations, I would say. I mean, I went in with very low expectations and they were completely blown away. I definitely want to see it again. The Babysitter is a wild, bloody good coming-of-age horror comedy that exceeded expectations with lots of heart. And that's why this film is a diligent pick. So guys, what did you think of this film? I really want to know if you're interested in seeing it now that I've told you a little bit more about it. Again, try to go into it with moderate expectations and just kind of have fun with it. Don't look at it as a super serious movie. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's a good time. I highly recommend it. My name is Dylan, and if you love entertainment, subscribe to my channel while this video ends and send me a thumbs up before you go. Thanks for watching, and stay diligent.